Hi, thank you for joining this art and AI journey with me. I'm your guide, Wu Jian. The story all begins with a simple question: Can machine? It's just a glitch. It is, can machines think? When I was in high school, I was working through mountains of textbooks and stayed up late every day. I was struggling and struggling through all the exams and papers. I just wanted to be the best student. When I told my dad I decided to study art, he was so furious, like a devil on fire. When I studied art, I quickly fell in love with it. Drawings, paintings, sculptures are so fascinating to me. By doing art, I felt the freedom like never before. When I was in museums, I felt like Michelangelo's sculptures was inviting me to this art universe. When I first started doing art, I was drawing geometric shapes and still lifes. Then, I moved on to drawing human figures. All of these lines, forms, shadows, shadings were mixing and bouncing in my head. I felt like I could communicate with them. I felt like I could jump into this black charcoal waterfall. I felt like I could dive into this black waterfall to find the secret of art. After a long flight from China to the US, I arrived at my art college. When I was there, I was dedicated to all art mediums. I was learning graphic design at the design department, doing typography, book layout, and poster design. When I studied bronze sculpture making, I was non-stop sculpting, casting, and polishing sculptures. When I was doing printmaking, I was so attracted by these heavy old school machines, and I just kept on making prints. I was surrounded by art every day. I had been watching lots of classic black and white films growing up. All of these childhood memories started to burst when I got the chance to study film photography. I wanted to document all the beautiful little things with my cameras and the friendly people I met. I love developed films in the darkroom. I love looking at these fresh developed photos on the wall. Although I was learning so much in college, I felt like a lonely cactus in the desert. I always dream about becoming happy animals when I see seals spinning, capybaras swimming with lemons, or jellyfish carelessly floating in the ocean. When everyone celebrated holiday with families, I would go on vacations because my families are not here. I would go on road trips by myself. I drove through streets in different cities, seeing different cultures and making art. I would look at dumplings on the table when I was eating delicious dumplings by myself. These dumplings and chopsticks start to flow and dance in the sky. I saw so many bubble tea posters on the street. When I checked the city, I felt like bubble tea shops were taking over the entire street. I felt like the bubble tea flood is running towards me, and I cannot escape from it. Time passed so fast, but at the same time, I could feel like the time passed really slow. So many things have been changed, but I'm still here making art. In graduate school, I fell in love with fashion photography and filmmaking. It was so fun working and photographing interesting people and creating videos. I felt like walking through different people's lives and dreams. I felt like floating in the space. I have a friend who loves making glass sculptures. When it was very difficult to access the glass studio during the pandemic, he was searching new ways of making art. When he encountered AI, his beautiful glass sculptures started to bloom in his new AI art. When my other friend decided to rethink about the purpose of life after being diagnosed with cancer, he drove all the way to nature and let himself be healed by the beautiful sceneries and animals. He started to do landscape photography to his cameras, and this made him feel much better. With the arrival of AI and the help with AI tools, he thought maybe there's a chance he could use AI powered images based on his photography to help other patients feel better in the hospital. AI is also having a big impact on the music industry. My friends were doing experimental music and DJing in the past. When generative AI showed up, they thought maybe it was a great chance to start a new music market. For many artists and musicians, AI is a big scary monster eating and chewing all the artworks and music albums. In the future, they think many workers may be replaced by AI. Maybe the AI agent would interview AI workers. Maybe AI robots would even argue about the day off. Will our office only have tireless human workers trying to compete with AI and finishing the job? Will marble statues come to life with the help of AI? Will our cities become mostly digital? Will AI make buildings float and escape from the gravity? Will AI launch all the buildings to the Mars? I don't know about the future of AI, but I will never stop making art as an artist. Maybe we need to go back to the original question from the very beginning. We can.